Okay, so today, am I sharing something? Can you guys see what I am sharing?
Yes.
The white screen with the,
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
with a little, yeah. So November the 5th today, fall back. Yeah, so I was talking to the folks yesterday. I was talking to Luis and the folks in Brazil. We change our time tomorrow, but then everybody else already moved back 1 hour. Brazil is not changing, meaning for them instead of 5 o'clock, it's gonna be 6 o'clock, but for today is still the same. Just first announcement. November 11th, if around the corner, I'm very excited. We have finished the agenda and I'm very happy with it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And finally, we can close this module. And the other announcement that I want to do is because of the Thanksgiving holidays, then November the 26th will not have any meeting. As a matter of fact, I will be in Brazil on that day visiting Luis and Livia and everybody because I'm going to
For
Brazil.
Thanksgiving, you're going to be in Brazil?
No, there's no Thanksgiving holiday in Brazil. It's
Okay.
I'm going there for it's to work. I'll be there for 1 week. So I just took advantage of the holidays and I'm going there in advance to visit some friends and family. And then also because of the holiday season, we'll hold our meeting on December 17th. It's going to be the last meeting for 2022, and then we'll come back on January 14th. So but I will send these dates to Karen so she can also post on her email. And this is the agenda for Houston meeting over here. And the thing is, we'll try to hold Zoom sessions as much as possible. And if you happen to be available, just call in. But I will try to be on that Zoom room as much as possible. I know folks in Brazil, they cannot be there all the time because of other commitments, but just in case, if you want to see what we are doing over here, there will be some Zoom sessions other than Saturday only. The other thing that I would like to call attention is I watched this movie a while ago. I do not know if you know this movie, but it is a wonderful story. It's a true story about this British guy. He was on British Army. He's a former British Army officer, and he was tortured as a prisoner of war at this Japanese labor camp during the Second World War. And what happens is one day, I think was mid-70s, he found out that the responsible guy for all his tortures, etc. This guy is still alive, and then he decides to confront that guy. So we can imagine what it is for his emotional, what all the things, all his memories, coming back. And he visited those trenches. He visited the labor camp. He visited the very same room that was there. He was tortured many times, and he met this guy, and this is their the real pictures. This is the British, the former British officer, and this is the torturer. But it's amazing story, guys. It's about a lot of pain. Is sometimes I had to just stop for a while, but it's about forgiveness as well. It's amazing story, and I can tell without any doubt that these two, they fulfilled their pre-incarnation mission, because the outcome is really, oh my God, this really exists. It's very motivating. It's very uplifting at the end, but you have to endure all the pain that he had been through. But
This was a movie, wasn't it a movie?
yes, I
I
highly
saw the
recommend
movie.
it.
Very
Yeah.
powerful.
Yes, very powerful. I highly recommend this. So at the beginning, the thing is, this former British officer, he's not looking for pain. He's looking for healing. He wants to get rid of all the pain that for years he's, carrying on, and the outcome is beautiful. It's something that I highly recommend. The Railwayman, wonderful movie. Anyway, so last time we stopped at question 741. We are still under law of destruction, talking about destructive scourges, and I think this is the very last question for destructive scourges. So the question was, do human beings have the power to avert the terrors that now afflict them? And the answer, some of them, but not as is commonly believed. Many of those plagues are the consequence of their lack of foresight. Therefore, as they acquire knowledge and experience, they are able to avert them. They can prevent their occurrence when they have determined their cause. Consequently, among the misfortunes that plague humanity, there are some of the general nature that are imposed by God's plan, and the effect of which is felt more or less by each individual. Human beings can do nothing but accept God's will, yet they often aggravate their own pain and suffering due to their negligence. So with that, let's move to the next question. And the next question is, so right now we are under law of destruction, and the topic is about war. So the next one, 742, what drives human beings to war? Any comment, any idea before we read the answer? What drives human beings to war? Yes, Lynn, please.
Well, it's powerful people. What do they want? More power. It's the greed for power. It's the greed to control others, dark entities, evil entities. As you know, this planet is the toughest school in the universe, and we have the highest percentage of dark entities, and they have the will, the desire to control other souls. It's just what do powerful people want? Simply more power.
Yeah, agree.
At the sacrifice of souls.
Others. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Agree. Carol?
I agree with Lynn, but I also think that what comes before the greed is the fear of those people that they're going to lose their power. They have a fear of losing their power and all their empire,
Yeah, agree. And I would say, regardless what the reason or the the motivation of the group or the person, I would say the core of every decision for a war is undoubtedly a greed, selfishness, or selfishness, and lack of compassion, I would say. All right. So, Carol, would you please read the answer for us? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Giles.
The answer to war is simple. Only grandmothers should be allowed to go to elected
Yeah,
office.
I remember you saying this.
Because grandmothers don't like sending their children, their grandchildren to get killed.
Mhm.
And that simple reality would
Mhm.
make them vote against anything that looked like they would get killed. So it wasn't my idea, it was a Dane's idea, a Danish scientist, and it was a lovely idea. It's worth repeating every chance I get.
Yep. Yeah. I love that idea as well. Thank you. Len.
Yeah, as always has been said, take all these power-hungry leaders and put them in a room by themselves and let them fight it out themselves, instead of sacrificing all the souls in the interim.
As a matter of fact, I remember that when I was a kid, I remember asking my mother, I said, why don't they fight against each other? You know, what they have to bring people, you know, and make them fight for them. I could not understand as a kid. I could not understand. Leda, please.
I think that, of course, politicians are very responsible for the wars and everything, but it also starts with each and every one of us that when we don't want to give in, when we think that we are better than the others, and when we don't prioritize living in peace with each other, even though it's a different country, a different religion, a different political view. We should be used to talking and to my words are not very well, but we're not used to compromising and to talk to each other and giving in, and so in our lives we should start with our own lives, with our people we work with, people in our family. Here in Brazil, we just had the election last week, so people are fighting against each other because of the election, and within the family, within work, within friends. So this shows how things are in a higher place as well, because if we can't commit to each other, commit to fraternity within our small groups, then within countries, it would be much more difficult.
Yeah, peace always starts and ends at the very door of our heart and souls. So if you don't hold peace in your heart or in your soul, it's gonna be a challenge every time you have disagreement, every time there is misalignment or whatever, to hold that peace. But I agree. So peace is something that it indeed starts in our hearts, it starts in our soul, and it's our it's our task to keep
Otherwise, if we are used to peace and we are calmer, we can dialogue with each other, then the politicians, they won't have support for their actions, actually, when they decide to do so.
Yeah, agree. So Leda, would you please read the answer for us?
Sure. What drives human beings to war? The overpowering of the animal nature over the spiritual nature and the fulfillment of their passions. In the barbaric state, humans only recognize the rights of the strongest. This makes war their normal condition. As men and women develop, war becomes less frequent because they avoid the causes that lead to it. And when it's inevitable, they wage it in a more human manner. That's right. With evolution, it tends to become less and less common, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like we mentioned the other day, the humanity will evolve. I like when Giles says there will be a happy ending no matter what, right? That's our mission, that's our destiny, is to be happy, to evolve, and yeah, one day we all will have or will live in this state of happiness. But for the time being, we are still, from moving from one state to another. Sometimes we are feeling happy, sometimes we are very unhappy. And like we said the other day, the plans for humanity, they are divine, because we are all created to be
Hello,
happy.
I'm Abron.
Hey, thank you, welcome.
Thank you.
And so we are all created by God, and our destiny is to be happy. So the plans for humanity, they are divine. However, the execution for that plan is by us. So as such, we see the imperfection of the humanity reflected as we go. But there is one thing that we need to keep in mind, is the law of cause and consequences. So that gives a lot of dynamics to this journey, right? So like Leda was saying, right now in Brazil, we have a lot of conflicts. We have family members fighting against each other because they have, the whole community is divided, and there is no common sense, there is no consensus between the two parties. But we have to keep in mind that we live the experiences that we live, and that has a lot to do with cause and consequence, right? So what we've done in the past, or what our choices are today, that lead us to live the experiences we are living now. So maybe for the Brazilian people, maybe we all need to exercise tolerance. Maybe we need to exercise emotional balance. So many other things that perhaps we need to learn and understand how we can live together despite all the differences, despite all the conflicts. Okay, so on the next question then, 743, will wars ever end on Earth? What do we think? The answer is yes, because we know we are all going towards this happy end, right? Like Giles is always saying. Yes, when human beings understand justice, practice God's law, only then will all men and women be brothers and sisters. Comments or? It's very straightforward,
Oh.
right?
It will take some time yet.
Well, remember, we are here to exercise tolerance and patience as well as resilience. Hang in there, it's gonna be okay. One day. 744, what is God's purpose in making war necessary? The answer is short. What is God's purpose in making war necessary? First of all, is God's it is in God's hand, the war? I mean, does God need a war? Evidently not, right? Go ahead, Claudia.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't get that God is making war. If we're a level 2 planet and we've got all these warlike, belligerent beings coming in to carnate from being a level 1, I can see God allows it to happen so that their souls can progress. But I don't get that. We're always at choice, and I don't. God wouldn't choose war for us. I don't get that at all.
Yeah, God doesn't need it.
It's a choice that humans make, not that God has a purpose for it. It's
Agreed.
just one of the options that's available to us. And ugh.
Yeah, the question makes you believe that, well, it's in God's plan, but no, it's not. Len, thank you.
But
Len.
as we know, free will is always an axiom, universal axiom in the universe, but it is a lesson to us that we always should fight for justice, fight against injustice, always fight against tyranny and oppression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes there are some facts that makes us all believe that maybe we are not moving towards the right direction, but I guess I believe we are, because first of all, we didn't have laws, and then we developed law, right? So we had to live as a community. We had to find a means to live despite of all the differences, etc. So we have means to do that, and they will come when we do not need to observe those laws, because we will know for certain, or we'll know by heart what is right, what is not right. So today we still observe, okay, I don't have to copy somebody else's work because it's not the right thing to do. There is a law and I can go to jail. But one day we'll not need all of that, because we'll know what is wrong, what is right. So, but we still have the choice to choose, which way to go. So the question 744 has a letter A. If war brings us freedom, why does it often entail the slavery or oppression of people attacked? Any comment?
Well, it seems to me that we human beings have a great deal in terms of the evolution of our consciousness and our species, and we have a great deal to learn if we look at history of the human evolution on this planet. Yes, there's been wars and there have been civilizations that have risen and fallen. And it seems to me we don't have any real knowledge about what has happened to us in the past, it seems to me. And it'd be curious to see, was there periods when there were no wars? And what societies existed on the planet? And what can we learn from studying those societies regarding the evolution of the humans to each other? Right now, we seem to be enemies on the planet. And all over the planet, we seem to be enemies. And is there ever a time when we existed as brothers and sisters? It'd be interesting to find that out. And when did that happen?
Yep, agree. Len, thank you, everyone. Len, please.
As said, history is the great teacher. The problem is we souls are not listening to the teacher.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was about to say, something about that, because yeah, we have the teacher, we have the books, but we are not learning our lessons well, right? So I do not know who was first, Giles or Gloria.
I was first this time. I beat her to it by
Okay.
half a second. When we consider that humans moved from hunter-gatherers to harvesting, right around then was when the shaman realized that they could ask for offerings. And then there appeared fake shamans, and they wanted more offerings and bigger, and lo and behold, we had religion. Now, if you remember, the Nazis in the Second World War were doing what they thought was right as Christians. So throughout human history, it's always been greed and selfishness and the twisting of religion to suit whatever ends. And the other thing that's worth pointing out is that the human development individually as incarnations, there are those who are beginning their incarnations and you can't get much out of them. You're going to appoint them as prison wardens and as slave masters, and they'll have a very good time and do a good job too. And then there are the people who are getting near the end of their incarnations who understand that love is the only thing that matters. Now, most of these people stay quiet because otherwise religious mobs would come and burn their village. Well, I think I've covered the two main points. Gloria, your turn.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that remember, the plans for humanity, they are divine, but the execution is by us, imperfect beings. So we'll see more and more deflections on that plan, but the plan will be executed, and one day we'll reach, you know, the purpose of the plan for us. That I don't doubt. Otherwise, I will have to believe the imperfection of the human beings are more powerful than God's perfection. Gloria.
I was going to give an example of something that Giles mentioned. When the morality of slavery was brought up to the church and they were asked about it, it was Pope Nicholas who, for a hefty donation to the church, said, "Oh yeah, slavery's fine. Mm-hmm. It's acceptable. You beat them, so yeah, slavery's okay." He authorized it, and that's again an example of the greed factor, Giles.
And of course, it would have continued whether he authorized it or not.
Right.
As indeed it does continue today.
They wanted to bless it though, but
it does continue today.
Yeah,
in a variety of forms, and so we've got a long way to go.
Yep. That's true.
I agree. I agree.
I would,
You-
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I had my say once before, so go ahead.
Devon, you haven't said anything so far, so it'd be very nice to hear you. Who are you
Okay.
anyway?
Oh, good, good.
I live in another part of the world from you guys. And actually, there's two of us here. My friend down there in the corner, we both decided to see what you guys do. He's in San Francisco and I'm in Costa Rica.
Oh, wow, welcome. Yeah,
Thinking
And,
about me.
you live in a beautiful country.
Oh, yes, I like it. We also have our own meetings on Saturdays at 2 p.m. like you.
Awesome.
But we wanted to just see what other people were talking about somewhere else. And it's very interesting because I'm sitting here listening, and although you may not use the same words or cite exactly the same things, it's very similar.
Yeah,
Some of the
That's-
things
that's-
that we talk about. I personally have a view of humanity individually and collectively
mhm,
as being on the repetitive path. And I really subscribe to the Indian philosophy, that is, as in India, and the concept they have of the yugas, and that consciousness rises and falls over, some people say thousands of years, some people say millions of years. I don't know which one's right, but there's certainly a rise and fall of consciousness.
Yep.
And our behaviors, our civilizations, everything that we do is more or less determined by where we're at on this cyclical nature of consciousness. And right now, the Indians would say that we're on the rise. And we're heading up. Good news. I don't know when we're going to get to the point that everybody would like to be at, but we're going in the right direction and we're not going backwards.
yes,
You know,
absolutely.
we're not going backwards, but progress is not always measured as a straight direction. Sometimes it's like a step, and you go up one step, and the rise is 2 feet, and
Beg your
when
pardon,
you step
Devon.
up, yeah, but the next step, the rise is 10 feet, and it's irregular. So
Begging your pardon, Devon, you said Indians. Do you mean
India.
Indians
India.
in Delhi or
Yes,
Indians
yes,
in
India
America?
as in India and in their Vedic system, which they refer to what I was talking about as the yugas.
Mhm.
And
Yes, the cycles. That's
Yes.
what I was. That's why I asked you,
Right.
because apparently we are between cycles now, and the next cycle is a very good one, or at least a much better one than the last one,
Yes.
which was the worst, the worst cycle.
yeah, it was
So-
called the Kali Yuga. We're coming out of the Kali Yuga.
Yes. So, okay. So you're confirming that. Now, the fact is that we're between cycles right now, and those are always known as periods of disruption and
True.
possible unpleasantness. Now, the thing is, when did it start? 300 years ago? Yesterday? How long
No
have it got to
telling.
go?
Yes, there's dispute about these cycles, even within the scholarly community in India that absolutely adhere to the Vedic philosophy. They still don't agree on how long these cycles are. But it's clear from the archaeological record, not necessarily the official one, that that's exactly what is going on. If you look at some of the archaeological record, you can see that we've had very advanced civilizations in the ancient past.
Right.
And that we're hopefully headed that way again soon rather than longer, but who knows?
Yeah. Thank you, Devon.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Len, please.
Just getting back to the original point, I mean, history is just filled with the atrocities, lunacies, cruelties of organized religions through, just watch the movie Kingdom of Heaven. I mean, you can get so many examples, and they always say under God's will.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Atrocities, they cover themselves under God's will, so that's well established. The second point, as far as the age of consciousness, there is many communications. We are entering a new era in the age of consciousness, the thinning of the veil. My countless communications with many entities on the other side, that you will see dramatic advancements of this planet in the next 20 to 100 years in the age of consciousness. understanding consciousness, using consciousness and all its powers. So this is well established.
Now, let me ask a question to the group. I do not know if you remember, but when we were growing up, you know, as we were growing up, you know, we were, or we passed through some stages, and some of those stages, they were not that comfortable. So being a teenager is something very, very, sometimes is for some people is really a very difficult period, for example, or just growing up as a kid. To me, it meant a lot of pain. I remember that I could feel a lot of pain in my legs, and you know, feel things. So many discomforts just for us to grow. And the same way, if we go to the school, sometimes some of the disciplines that were so easy for you to grasp, some of those lessons that were so easy, but others, it demand a lot of us, a lot of effort, right, from us to actually understand and learn the lesson. Well, that's exactly what's going on. You know, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that we will live without an effort from us to truly learn what is ahead of us, right? So we are here for a purpose. We didn't come over here for vacation. Some people, they live in beautiful countries like Costa Rica, but it's not vacation. we still have our homework to do, a lot of things for us to learn, right?
Well, actually, I was hoping that everybody in here would just do my homework for me. Then I don't have to do it. You know?
I wish as well. So, Carol, you were the last one. So would you mind reading the answer for us? I think we lost Linda.
I don't know why on my screen,
Oh,
I
you
don't
cannot see
see,
it? Okay.
I can't see but only a small
okay.
section of the words.
No problem. So the answer is, so the question is, if war brings us freedom, why does it often entail the slavery or oppression of the people attacked? And the answer, this oppression is so short-lived and serves to make the people grow tired of their enslavement, pushing them to advance more rapidly. Well, one thing that we need to, as we read those answers, we need to keep in mind that, you know, the spirits, they were giving those answers. And when the spirit says this oppression is short-lived, they have a different sense of time, right? That could be like hundreds of years, but for them it's a small period of time. So 7:45, what should we think of those who instigate war for their own profit? I think Giles mentioned a lot of things, Len as well. Does anybody want to say anything else?
I think that we have this notion that we are special and we are all of it, and everything else comes after us. So when we want to take something from someone, we just take it, and you extend that out, it turns into a war. We have lost the notion that we are one spirit, we are one humanity, we're one soul, and that we belong to a matrix of souls, and we cannot successfully stand alone. All of the difficulties we seem to see in our lives is because we have this notion that we are alone and that we are not subject to anybody else. The notion of loving and considering, it's been spoken of many times throughout history, treat your fellow man as you wanted to be treated. And so the notion is, do I love myself? And if I love myself, can I extend that to humanity? We don't speak in those terms. We're so busy with survival and taking things and thinking that I can get away with stuff and I'll be okay. And I think that we create our realities. I mean, it's just up to us. We seem to be in the stage where we're totally unconscious of what we are doing and the consequences to our thoughts. And it just seems to me that we are, we're the creators. We are the creators. We have created this world that we live in. If you think that way, it's like, oh, so I can create a better world. And you start thinking that and linking up with people like we're doing here and start thinking about those ideas rather than continually focus on all the negative stuff. That seems to be our communication. It's negative. I don't feel well and blah, 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 there wars and whatever, whatever. We don't have the consciousness to talk about how it is that I can create beautiful thoughts. I can create positive thoughts. And eventually that turns into my world. So it's like we are the ones. I mean, it's us. No one's coming to do, save us. We've got to do it ourselves. I know it's a little far out there to imagine that my world is created by me. Somebody else did it. God did it. The devil did it. Somebody else did it.
Mhm.
I'm the one who's doing it. And when I get to that kind of a place where I can realize that, then how do I now fill myself with positive energy and positive thoughts so that I can attract that kind of reality? It's difficult. We just don't have any idea about how that is played out in our lives or who it is that we can attach ourselves to, who is thinking in a similar vein. I'm hoping that groups like this are doing that. And it seems to me that, yeah, we are on that track. We just don't know who we are. And luckily, this device that we're using now can hook us up around the world.
Yep.
And we can say, oh, yeah, there are others out there like me. And we can extend that kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Unless we do that, we're still in a little bubble by ourselves.
Yeah. You mentioned something that is, to me, is key, love. And how to keep the positive energy, positive thoughts, etc. Well, if we love ourselves, then we are capable of giving love to others. If we know who we are, like you said, we do not know who we are. If we know who we are and we love who we are, with all the imperfections, nobody is expecting us to be perfect for now. But if we love ourselves the way we are, then it's a very good start to start linking to other people and understanding and practicing the fraternity that Leda was talking a little bit ago. Thank you. Lynn, please.
Well, we discussed this, but evil actions, evil entities, those who have love, those who have conscience, values, ethics, at times they have a difficult time understanding those souls who have no values, who have no love, absence of love, absence of conscience. And these individuals will, the dark entities, will actually justify in their mind all these evil actions. So you have to understand there are souls that have absence of love, absence of conscience, absence of good and ethics and morality. And at times, those like us who have love, consciousness, etc., the values, morality, they cannot make that quantum leap to understand those who are the diametrically opposed, who have the absence of.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There. Yep. Thank you, Lynn. Would you please read the answer for us, since you were the last one?
Such individuals are severely guilty and suffer many physical lives to atone for all the deaths they caused. They will have to answer for every human being who has been killed to satisfy their ambition.
Law of cause and consequence,
Mhm.
right? This is
You sow what you reap.
exactly. With that, I think we finished with the topic for the war, and then the next one is murder. And the first one, 745, is murder a crime in God's eyes? And the answer evidently yes, and a serious one. When individuals take the life of their fellow human beings, they cut short an atonement or a mission that the victim was going through in their present incarnation. And that is an atrocious act. I guess there's no more comment to that, right? So yeah.
I just wonder how that can be really taken in by humans, because when you do that, you're doing it to yourself.
Exactly.
And somehow we got to understand everything that I do, I'm doing it to myself.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Even before the act. So for you to think it's okay to take someone else's life, remember you have to hold a lot of anger.
Yes.
So you are already poisoning your soul with so many bad stuff. Right? It's not really a smart thing to do. 745, are all murders equally evil? And the answer is very short. God is fair. God judges the intention rather than just the deed. What do we understand by that answer? God is fair. God judges the intention rather than just the deed. Yeah, please, Annie.
I'm not sure if this is the answer, but it does have to do with this. In Canada, in the province of Saskatchewan, this happened quite a few years ago. I can't remember the man's name, but it was a husband and wife, and they had a daughter who was severely disabled, and she was always in pain. She couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, nothing. And he, her father, put her in his car in the garage and put her to sleep. And he went to prison. He didn't deny that he did it. He said, I did this. There was nothing that we could do for her. There was nothing any doctors could do for her. And I did this because she suffered so greatly, and I did not want her to suffer anymore. And I will go to prison for this. And he did. And he got out of prison. And I mean, do I think he's a murderer? No, I don't. And he lives his life on his farm just as he did before she passed. And I just, in that respect, I think that is humane, and that's just my opinion. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I view it as an act of desperation, I guess. You don't want to see someone who you love suffering that way, but
I view it as an act of love. I mean, if you love someone with that much and they're suffering that much, you know, why are you going to let them do that? And I do think the laws have to be changed as far as any people that are suffering that greatly. I think that, you know, that's a completely different situation than hating somebody so much or just out murdering people you don't even know.
But what if she, the daughter, choose to, I'm not judging the father. I cannot even think about living that experience. It must be very painful. But what if the daughter choose to live that experience because she has done something in the past to somebody, and the perhaps one of the ways that she thought it was a good way to compensate or to understand the pain she caused was to live that experience. So I it's really hard situation.
It is. And I mean,
Extremely hard.
I hear where you're coming from, because absolutely. But I mean, yeah, in that situation myself, I don't consider that something heinous.
Thank you, Annie. Gloria?
Another example like that I thought of, if I'm in a moment of weakness and an addicted earthbound soul attaches to me, and I become a practicing alcoholic, and I'm out driving when I shouldn't be, and I cause the death of another, it wasn't my intention to kill that person, but I killed another person. And I think that's what it's talking about, is they're not all equally. What I did was evil in that someone else died, but it wasn't my intention to kill them. It was my intention to feed my addiction, and that ended up in the death of someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I think that thought also applies to Annie's example. You know, it's not that the father really wanted to end with the daughter's life. He wanted to end the daughter's suffering. Len.
Yeah, that's a whole topic here. You get into the act of love to circumvent the suffering. I mean, we had a lot of notoriety here in the States, the West Coast, Dr. Kevorkian. That was a big one, Dr. Kevorkian, as far as putting to sleep many individuals who were suffering. But then again, that's what we have an extension too of that, of people have today. Almost everyone has a healthcare proxy, like my own. I do not resuscitate, do not intubate, do nothing. In other words, just let me go. And that's an extension of that. And I think we're moving more and more towards that direction to eliminate the pain and suffering as acts of love, medically too, to let the individual go, not to be supported by machines, a series of machines to be kept alive, because that's not alive. You're just a living death. That's who you are.
Thank you, Len. Devon, you want to say something?
I would ask a question, and this can get very convoluted, I guess, but we're talking about murder, right? So what's the difference between a killer and a murderer? Is a killer someone who does something out of a justifiable reason, and a murderer is not? Well, what's the difference?
Isn't that semantics?
Well, yeah, but the words are both in our vocabulary, so why are they there?
Any comment from the group?
Can I comment in? I can.
Yeah, I know what you're about to say, because
about the
I was
question.
saving that. Okay,
comment about Annie, because I think my comments kind of talk about both. it's my opinion and what I realize reading all the books I have read, spiritual books, and what I have done. For example, in the case of this father, I understand would be a murder, but what we need to consider is his intention. And his intention was a good intention in his mind. So that will absolutely take in consideration, but it's still his act was correct or not correct, because as Anna said, maybe the daughter make a contract to come and go through that, because we don't know the whole picture of her last lives. And maybe she asked to come and suffer because she needs that. And somehow he didn't know that, and he took away from her the chance to go through it. It's just like, we don't know exactly, nobody knows really what happened, but I'm saying could be one of the reasons why she was going through so much suffering. In this case, I would see him maybe being kind of punished because he has no right to cut her, but at the same time, it's going to be taking consideration his feelings and why, his intention. And his intention was good. That does make sense. It's like in the law, when you kill somebody. So to me, what's the difference of kill or murder? To me, the difference is the intention. Do I want to kill somebody intentionally? Or maybe I drink a lot and I drove my car, I killed somebody in an accident, but I knew I could not drink and drive. So it would be kind of negligence, or I really was driving, I didn't drink and I killed somebody. So to me, it's more your acts, your feelings, what's your intention, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you, Josie. Anybody else want to say anything?
It's just interesting how we have assigned to these words a certain feeling or a certain meaning, and these words trigger in us those feelings. And so murder, excuse me, or however it is that we leave, if it's not in terms of, a good thing, we don't know what to do with it. But we've already decided those words mean certain things. What if they don't mean those things? And we've just made that up. If we just neutral and we're here experiencing this thing we call life, and for whatever reasons we leave, and however it is ever that we leave, what if that's just neutral? And, if she decided I have done something and I'm going to go and live in the third dimension and feel pain to try and compensate for what I have done, okay. But at some point you leave. And if there's nothing that we know to express how it is that happens, we go ahead and put some thoughts to it and we put meaning to it. And so we say, okay, that's what it is. Now we're trying to judge, is it good or is it bad? Or how does it stack up against what the creator intended? We just don't know, so we make things up.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. Thank you, Gabriel. Maria.
Hi, excuse me to come in later, but my daughter arrived in my home and I need to take care of her. My history is like a glorious history, because my ex-husband was driving to work when a 12-year-old girl walked into, that's right, Anna?
12-year-old girl?
Yes, walked into the avenue without looking and was run over by him. She was the sobrinha, how I can say in English?
The niece?
The niece, she was the niece of a dear friend that we helped her to open a new standing and to help in another things. She died and he was julgado.
Trial, yeah. So
Tried, yes. He was tried, and it was an accident, and it was considered non-intentional homicide. And the penalty, that's right, Anna, penalty.
yeah, the penalty, yeah.
The penalty was to provide social service to society. And I think that the law of man had mercy on him, I don't know, with him. And I believe that God saw it that the same way. And our friend stay in our life until today. And during some time, we stay very shocked because 1 week before the accident, this girl was give lunch in our house.
Oh, okay. So you guys were having a
yes, it's a very traumatic experience, and I think that the intention that stay in our heart is the most important thing to enfrentar,
to confront
this situation.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Maria. Very powerful story indeed. Gloria.
Very sad story. That's, oh, wow. Mine was hypothetical. Maria's was real.
But yes.
Back to the point that Devin made. It's interesting, in this country, we say that we killed Osama bin Laden, not that he was murdered. We killed him. In other words, and again, are all murders equally evil? I don't believe that the Navy SEALs who killed Osama bin Laden, that their intention was to do something evil. Their intention was to do their duty, and they were orders. They were. So again, this differentiation between killing and murdering. Murder to me is an intention to do evil. But killing can happen for lots of different reasons. I mean, it's the same result. You end up with a dead person. And then back to that example about when a person is killed, if it wasn't their time to go, we've screwed up a whole bunch of spirit planning. So I can see where it would give us really bad karma, because not only do we mess up what we came here to learn, and we're going to have to pay for it for who knows how many more lifetimes, but we really messed up the plan for that person and there's
all the offsprings. Exactly.
Yes.
So now, so now you see,
really do this huge interruption in what the great plan was, and we'll find out at some point. We'll find out, but not good. Not definitely not good.
Yeah, not to mention abortion, guys.
Good, yeah. There's another one.
Yes, Annie, please.
Just on what Gloria said, but the thing is, life is unpredictable. So you're saying, saying like that screws up a plan for, whoever, whatever. Well, maybe not. Maybe the plan was, going back to my example, maybe that was in the plan for this daughter of these people. Maybe that was her incarnation this time, that she was only going to be here for that period of time, and that her father, this was how it was supposed to play out. That's the thing. We don't know that. We don't know that because of free will and because of, you know, people taking different roads and different routes and different, so is that wrecking the plan, or do we really know the plan?
What you're saying, Annie, is
Plan.
yeah, what you're saying is it's not up to us to judge because we do not know the whole picture. So we cannot judge anybody. Nobody's
Absolutely.
reason or motive is not up to us.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. That's a profound statement you made there. That is absolutely something we should contemplate over. It's like it's okay at that point. That's the end of it. The new thing begins with a
Yep.
whole new opportunity out there. Don't concentrate on what has happened. It's done. It's gone. And
Get
it's now
over it.
out in the ether. So I have an opportunity now to go do whatever it is that I can do to perfect myself without worrying
Exactly.
about what happened.
Yeah, Chico Xavier, this meeting, Brazilian meeting, he used to say, you cannot go back in time and make a new beginning, but you can continue on and make a new ending, you know, or have give a better ending to that same story. Josie, please.
No, I just want to say, Annie, I totally agree with you. We don't know the story, and maybe you're right. Maybe she was suffering, and he was some point asked to take her suffering. But we just need to, we don't know the whole picture. Just want to say that I agree. Can be, or unfortunately can be he cut in hers. We don't know exactly.
don't know.
If Chico Xavier say an answer, I would believe. But it's as Anna said, we should not judge. But one thing I'm sure about, the intention of the person is going to be taken in consideration. So it's different. Somebody who kills for love, somebody who kills not their fault, maybe they were irresponsible, somebody who really want to kill somebody. And that I think is going to be the most thing that they are going to consider.
What is in their heart? Yes. Thank you, Josie. Allan, please.
There's volumes of literature validating the following, and that is, when you enter an incarnation, there's a life chart, and it's all based on the end, what lessons that have been developed by your council of elders on the other side for your life chart, by your spirit guides, by your orientators, and there's specific lessons that one must learn as outlined in the life chart, whether it be for love, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, etc. So this is well established. So obviously one cannot judge because it depends on what is in that life chart that has been developed for that incarnation from the other side by your council of elders, spirit guides, etc. So that is well established in the volumes of afterlife literature, many times validated over and over. So basically you just simply can't judge because you don't know the life chart. And the only ones that have access to that life chart is the souls in your same soul pack. Souls are in soul packs where they are basically eternal classmates, and they move along, and their evolution of their development as a soul is all usually in unison. Okay, that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I love the idea of being in this, you know, coming in as a soul pack. Yeah.
You have eternal classmates.
Because that justifies sometimes when we feel like missing something. You were the one that fall behind. Yeah. Thank you. Maria, please.
I think that is very serious subject, and I believe that the most people in world knows that killing another human being is a very serious problem. But I would like to take our reflection to a more subject level, because without self-transformation, without fraternity, and the position, the different position in our lives, we don't care about to kill people's hope, kill their chance of being happy, and another things that we do without pay attention of it. Then I think that if I don't kill a person, we need to take care to don't kill
Their dreams, their hope, their future.
the chance to be happy,
Mhm.
to viver melhor, how I can say it.
Live better.
Yes, it's very important today because the world is crazy. And the neighbor, vizinho é neighbor.
Yeah, neighbor.
The neighbors is against neighbor. The parents está guerreando com parentes. Como é que eu posso falar isso?
Oh, the parents fighting against family members fighting against the child.
Yes. And we don't perceber.
We don't perceive.
Yes, that we are killing each other.
Yep. Yep. Thank you, Maria. Hi, Seth.
Sorry, I came in late and then I had family from Jamaica talking, so I didn't get onto this, but listening to what you're saying and seeing this, yes, there's some people who elect to come and be killed because of something they have done and they are paying it off. But I can't think that it should be right that people should just go around killing each other and then saying, I'm relieving him of his burden. I can't agree with that. But I think that we cannot judge. We do not know, and it is very difficult.
Yeah.
But I think it just can't be a license to kill.
Exactly.
And the other thing about Nova Milanovic, I did esoteric workshops with her, and she said, and this she got from Starship, that we come down in groups. And that is why when Jesus said that, when there is more joy in when one turns than the 99, because we are waiting for that one so that the group can move on. So you understand what I'm saying?
Completely, because I got a message like this one day.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Hyacinth. And everything that we said and discussed today, I just want to go back to this and talk about this movie suggestion. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend, because it is about some people on one side killing and enslaving other people, and the story being told by a victim, and what that guy did is something amazing. So if you haven't seen The Railwayman, please watch the movie, because it's a powerful story. All right, folks. So it's 4:17 over here in Houston. Time for us to go. I hope to see some of you next Saturday, if in person, and but if not, the Zoom meeting will be on. So just feel free to call in anytime. Okay. See you. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you. I enjoyed
it.
Great. It's good talking with you people.
Conversation.
Oh, Gabriel, where are you come from?
I'm in
Where are you?
actually California.
Okay, one more. Yeah,
Yes.
from California. Thank you all.
So
Talk to you later.
is this the end?
Yes. We
Well, I
started.
must just tell you that I was on a scientific and medical network session, and there was